Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's reading is going to be on who is your soulmate. And we're just going to get a snapshot, I guess, of who they are. And I didn't get any crystals or anything, so we're just going to go with group 1, 2, and 3. Alright, timestamps will be down below in the description, and I'll see you in your reading. Hi, group 1. So this reading is going to be who is your soulmate? And I'm shuffling, but I already kind of pre-shuffled, so I don't have to do so much. It's just like a reflex for me now to just do it that way. Although I do it both ways, I guess. Anyway, this is gonna be kind of like a snapshot of who is your soulmate. So we'll see what comes up. I guess, I don't know, with a snapshot it could be like characteristics, whether or not you know them, or just whatever. I mean, anything can kind of come up. It's like a general, who is your soulmate kind of reading. So let's see. We have Temperance. We have the High Priestess. The Six of Wands. Flower of Life, which is an extra card in this deck. And then the Hanged Man. Okay. So when I was pulling your cards, I heard very clearly, this is an extraordinary person. Very, very, I don't know how to, how else to explain that. That's like just a very dynamic, very, I want to say strong, but it's more than strong. They have a strong presence. There's just something about them that's very demanding. You know, like when they walk in a room, everyone notices. Very strong presence. It's funny that we have the High Priestess here, which is a strong feminine energy. But I feel such a strong masculine energy coming from your soulmate. And I guess that could be like that Hangman. So, you know, physically, you know, they could be very well endowed. But I just get such a strong masculine energy from your soulmate. So if they're a man, or if they associate more with the masculine energy, I feel like they have a really good balance of both. Because for the High Priestess to come up, that is very strong feminine energy. But because I'm tapping into such strong masculine energy, this feels like a very good balance, which I didn't even realize. The very first card you got is Temperance, which is exactly that. It's a very, very good balance of both energies, of multiple energies. Also, Temperance is the alchemist, so they know how to bring things together and make something completely new and different, something that hasn't been seen before. So they feel like they know how to deal with people. Like, they're a very good people person. They know how to talk to people. They know how to handle people. Very good with people who have strong emotional reactions to things, you know, or can be a bit unstable. Maybe they work with people, like as a social worker. It feels kind of like they're really, really good at working with people. Feels like their job may have to do with working directly with a lot of people, because it's one of their strengths. Their strengths is communication. They know how to communicate. They know how to handle tough situations. This is someone who knows how to get through tough times, which leads me to the Six of Wands. They're very successful people. They're a very successful person. I just I'm seeing so many, because this is a general reading, so I'm seeing so many different scenarios. But your soulmate is definitely a very successful person, a very proud person, and not like they have a lot of pride, meaning they're very proud of their accomplishments. They succeeded at a lot of things, very accomplished, And people take note of that. I think people are very, can be a bit even intimidated by your soulmate, because this feels like it's just like commanding energy. Like, I was a little bit like tired when I started this reading, and this energy really kind of woke me up, because it just feels very just like, take notice of me. I'm getting like Adonis, Greek god kind of energy from your soulmates. It's very strong, very strong. With Flower of Life, this kind of goes back to that feeling of connecting with a lot of others, a lot of people. He may have a big family, or he may come from a big family, or he may want a big family. This is someone who wants to expand greatly and is familiar with that. And I also see a very strong spiritual side to them, though. Like, they know when to work hard, and they know when to have like peace time, like when to take a time out and just be. With the Hangman, they know when they need to just take a break and just surrender to certain things. They're really good at reading energies, whether that's within themselves, within others. Really good at being able to tap in to sort of the energetic side of things. This person is a very evolved person, because they see more than just a surface level. They see down to the core of things. And this is not just like a specific thing. Like, this is scenarios, this is people. This is probably why they're so good with people. Is because they kind of see the root of them, So when there are some difficulties, or maybe there needs to be like a deal to be done, or something like, there's something that needs to happen, they know exactly what to do and what to say. They're very good at like negotiating. they're just like, they're very charming, they're very sweet on the eyes too, which is what I just heard. I do see them as very, very good looking. They take very good care of themselves physically. This can be they work out a lot, or they eat right, or they just, I don't know, they're very healthy. It could be a lot of things. But they're very good dressers as well. But I also see it on the spiritual side. I see them meditating a lot. They just have a really good like balance with everything, like work and personal, or like play, or like love, you know what I mean, or friendship, or family. They just have a really good balance. It's almost like they cracked the code for life. Which is funny, because we have the Flower of Life card here. But they just feel very very in the know, like they may be inspirational speakers, or they would be really good at being an inspirational speaker, because they have that presence about them, where when they speak, people listen, and they pay attention, and they have their undivided attention, that's the dynamic I'm seeing from them. It's very commanding. I know it was like the first thing I said, because it's just a strong, captivating type of energy that your soulmate has. They're really good listeners. They're very patient. They would make an excellent parent. If they're not already, they would make an excellent parent. And I see them kind of taking care of their work life first before starting a family. They feel like they wanted to devote their whole life to building a career and being successful in that regard, and then sort of shifting their focus to family and building a family. But I do see them as being very close to their own family, and I see them wanting to have a similar type of setup with their own personal family. They feel it's interesting, because on one hand I can feel like the need for tradition, like get married, have kids, white picket fence, all that good stuff. But then I also see this sort of like non-traditionalist of just like, there are certain aspects that might be a little bit unconventional. But they wouldn't see it as that, because they see the deeper side of things. That's why to the outside it may seem a little unconventional, but to them it's normal, it's life, because they kind of know all the walks of life, you know. And I'm not really sure how that would, you know, come up in each of your situations. This 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 sort of unconventional type of dynamic. Maybe one of you is much older than the other, or maybe you come from different backgrounds, different cultures. You know, I don't know. Maybe you started a family life later in life. That's kind of what it feels like for them. They do feel a bit older. They do feel very evolved. But I wanna get some information on how they would be with you in the relationship. So let's see what that dynamic would be. This one. Because I was getting more like a general type of personality trait from them. It's kind of like who they are just generally out in the world, just who they are as a person, just as like, you know, how they show up in the world. With you, we have the Eight of Cups. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Four of Wands. We have Death. And we have the Seven of Stars, which is the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. So with you, I feel a very strong supportive energy from them, because I'm looking at the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Wands. I keep hearing they catch you when you fall, and it feels like every time you're kind of like dealing with something heavy or something strong or sad or difficult or any kind of hardship, they're ready to like support you in any way you need. Because I'm looking at this Eight of Wands and it's like, I got you, like I got your back, I got whatever you need. They're a really strong like foundation for you, or they have a very strong foundation where they just want to give you that safe space that you can always kind of come home to. That's what they feel like. They feel like they want to be your home, or they want to have a really strong, stable home. And that's further amplified here in the Four of Wands, where they want to have a nice, happy home. I think with you, they know right away that you're the person that they want to spend the rest of their life with, if that's what you want. That's something that they know they want to build with you. When I was saying that they want to have a family later on, I would see you meeting them when they've already accomplished a lot of that. Either that, or if you knew them from the past, you would reconnect at that point in time when they have like they feel successful. And successful is very important to them. Like there's a specific sense to that word for them, where they would have reached a certain goal or a certain level. Oh, sorry guys. They would have accomplished something that they were reaching for a long time, and then having reached that, they are now ready for a family. They want to build with that. So with them, when they meet you, there's no playing games. There's no like, well, they're a very evolved person, so they wouldn't play games anyway, but they just let it be very known very quickly how serious they are about you, and that's something that they think about. Marriage, or you know, having a family, or whatever that would mean for the both of you, that's something that they would want, and they make it known. It's very clear. There's no uncertainty there. And they're a very nurturing person, but they work very hard on building things. They have a lot, like I said earlier, they have a lot of patience. That's how they became so successful in their life. They're in their lives. They're in their life. Sorry, guys. I'm a little spacey today. but they know how to nurture and water their what they're cultivating. You know, with the Seven of Stars here, which correlates to the Seven of Pentacles, they I'm trying to like word it in the right way. They know what it takes to build something long lasting, and they are fully committed to that. They feel like very healthy people. You know what I mean? Like they have a very healthy dynamic to themselves where they know if something's up, talk about it. Communication is key. They know how to address certain issues that may come up, or how to prevent certain issues from coming up, because you want to avoid things getting worse, or even things getting to that point to begin with. They're very assertive as well, where they will take the first step in anything that they do. They're go-getters, you know. So that's how they are with you. They would pursue you. When you meet, I would definitely see them taking the first step, making the first move. And I see you being very receptive. For you, it feels like it's such a welcomed sight seeing them, but it also feels just like it is. I keep getting the sense of going home for you. It feels like going home when you're with them. You love being embraced by them. Just them holding you makes everything sort of melt away. It feels very calm. It feels very peaceful, you know. And when you two come together, there does seem to feel like it's like a transformative experience. I'm getting more for you, especially because I think that you wouldn't have really experienced anything like what they're giving to you. This is new. This stability. They're giving you a strong sense of stability. Like you don't ever have to worry about, you know, money issues or home issues or communication issues or infidelity issues. They're very, very loyal and upfront, very open, very, very open with you, because they know that's important when it comes to family, when it comes to a partnership. They do things the right way. You know what I mean? Like they show up fully. So there's no like cutting corners, you know, there's no bypassing anything. It's doing it the right way. That's what it feels like with your soulmate. They do things the right way, and they are rewarded for that. And with you, it's very important for them to show up in the right way, to make sure that you're okay, to make sure that you are heard, to make sure that you're both on the same page with everything moving forward, you know? So yeah, they're very serious very quickly. That's what your soulmate feels like. There's also a sense of having waited for you, and you having waited for them. That there's a mutual feeling there of waiting for the right person. And I feel like you would have had short relationships prior to being together, especially on their part, because they were focusing so much on their careers, that when they would date or meet someone, it wouldn't last very long, because they would very quickly know that that person wasn't for them. And they're not going to invest in something that isn't going to work out long term. They're visionaries, you know. They see way down the line, and they see, you know, the whole picture, and that's the picture that they're trying to build. And with you, you know, when they meet you, they see that you're that picture that they want, you know, their life to be. They feel very, very sure about you. And I think that's something that you really, really love about them, because I think you're someone who may struggle with that sometimes, some indecisiveness, or you know, having a lot of doubts, or just, you know, worrying about how things will go in the future. They give you that sense of stability, that something to hold on to, you know, this pillar, like an anchor. They give you an anchor, you know, they're your anchor. And it's really beautiful because they love being that for you. You both fit each other very well. Obviously, you know, you're soulmates. But this feels like you're meant to have a long life together. Like you're meant to build a life together, because you you're at the same place, you know, when you meet, or at least you want the same things moving forward. And you fit each other just so well at that time, you know. Sometimes soulmate relationships are meant to teach you something, you know, or you're meant to feel something or break through something, and then you're supposed to move on or, you know, find each other again. But for you, when you meet, it feels like you're meant to come together and build a really beautiful family and a really beautiful life together and just enjoy that. It feels very much like a reward. You know, maybe you've had a difficult life, or maybe you've had a difficult period, or things were really unsure for a long time. Maybe you've gone through a lot of bad relationships back to back to back to back. This feels like the end goal and reaching that. So yeah, that's what I see for your reading, and I hope that it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got from it what you needed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your reading. So we're gonna just get right into it. This is just gonna be like a kind of like a snapshot of who your soulmate is. I'm gonna pull a few cards to start off to see a little bit about who they are. Okay. So first card we have is the Nine of Pentacles. Actually, the Nine of Stars, but it correlates to the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Five of Stars. And the Sun. King of Wands. And the Six of Stars, which is the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So your soulmate feels, they feel, sorry. Your soulmate feels like a caregiver, you know, like they care deeply about others. They may do a lot of charity work. They may do a little bit of social work, or they work with children. Maybe they feel like very joyful people, very happy people, very excited people, very passionate. They have a lot of fire for sure, being the king, you know, coming up as the King of Wands here, and then the Sun as well, being literal fire, right? And then just tapping into their energy, they just feel very passionate about like the less fortunate. It feels very like they feel like advocates. Looking at the Six of Pentacles, you know, that's a card of giving, right, of being generous, but it's also a card of receiving, right? But I just keep seeing them as like going to like protest and like work really hard for like the regular people. You know, they definitely feel like they come from a lot of money, or they know a lot of money. They feel like they're very secure, but it does feel like they come from family, but it feels like family with money. It feels like they may have watched other people go through a lot of things and you'll struggle, or it could be that they struggled early on and then came into a lot of money. You know, it could be either or. Remember, this is a general reading, so take it how it fits your situation. But it definitely feels like they just care so much about the environment, about animals, about, you know, homelessness, or people going hungry. You know, that it just feels like they care so much about, you know, sorry, I had to fix that, about the struggles of the world. You know, they care so deeply, and they feel things deeply. They definitely feel very empathic, to the point where where they feel it themselves, like it's them going through. That's the definition of empath, right? They take it on as their own, but they also get very excited about doing something about it, making a change, making things different. They feel like advocates. I keep feeling this sort of like this protester, just like, we need change. But they also feel like really fun people to be around. They feel like they're just fun to talk to. Like they'll make anything like a party. It's like you guys could be just like making dinner, and then it's like a party. It's fun. It's putting on music and dancing around, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. They just feel very exciting, and they laugh a lot. They like to make other people laugh. They have a very, very, very good sense of humor, but they like those things, those little things, the little details of life. Those are a big deal to them, that time you spend with a loved one, just like watching a movie or going for a walk, or just sitting and having a conversation, even just about the weather. These little things, they hold them to such high regard, and they see like the light in life, like they see all the beauty of the world. That's why they care so deeply about it, because they feel that it's sacred. It's an important thing for them to honor it. They feel like a very like it's almost like they feel the responsibility of taking care of the world and the people of the world, the animals of the world, the plants of the world. They see life in everything, and they care about everything. So it's like, and that carries over, into the relationships. They care very deeply about the people in their lives, very deeply, extremely devoted to the people in their lives, to their family. But they feel like they would have, because something about them feels like almost like a nomad. Like they may have traveled a lot, spent a lot of time just meeting different people like on their own, because it doesn't feel like, I don't feel any like attachments to them. They feel like they kind of just travel the world, and that's how they are. Or if it's on a more mundane level, they kind of just, they're free spirited, and that's how they look at life, as this big open book that they get to just live on. They feel very adventurous, everything's an adventure, and they enjoy that. But they do have a seriousness to them. It's very interesting how both are coming through very strongly. There's just sort of fun, loving, carefree side to them, but then there's also this serious, like, we need to do something kind of vibe to them. So they feel pretty well balanced, but they have just a strong feeling of caring and of fighting. So that's kind of the overview of what I'm getting for them as a person, like just as their character traits. So I want to see how they'll be with you in the relationship. See how they'll show up, how they communicate, things like that. if there's like a long lasting energy to them, or if it's sort of like a momentary thing, or meant to have a family. I'll see what comes up with how they'll be with you. Oh, that's funny. I said, see if there's a family, and then the first one is Ten of Pentacles, and you guys can see the whole family there. Definitely feels like that's something there for the two of you. We have the Hierophants. We have the Four of Stars. So Four of Pentacles. The King of Cups. And we have the Eight of Cups. Okay, so definitely feel a strong family dynamic with you. It kind of feels like you've known them for a while too. Maybe you haven't been in a romantic relationship with them, but it definitely feels like this is someone you've come across quite a few times in your life. Maybe you've bumped into each other here and there. Like I said, they feel like adventurers. So it's like they come and go, come and go, come and go. But there's a point, where you two will spend a bit more time together, this sort of closeness, where they start wanting to settle down. They start wanting to build something. Like I said, they care deeply about the people in their lives. So when they spend more time with you directly, they realize they want to pour into that. They want to build something with that. And they want to have, because I think you two share very similar values. You also may be an advocate for the lesser fortunate, or for the animals, or for the environment, You two may be vegans, and that's something you share in common, This feels like you have the same type of worldly values, And I can see that with the Hierophant. You both have this same sort of core, this sort of way of looking at life where your faith is the same, And I think that's why they want to build on that with you, because they see you as a part of them and them as a part of you. You two blend together very well. And it's so funny. I'm doing it with my hands and I'm looking down and I see it here. You see how they intertwine here in the bottom of the Hierophant card. That's how they see both of you and how you see them as well. You two feel like you're cut from the same cord, being soulmates. That's what you would expect, right? But hold on. My OCD. Anyway, so but this is something that you want to build on. You want to like create children who have the same values, or maybe even adopt children, because I see you wanting to take in like other people to help, maybe fostering animals, because it feels like you both care so deeply about the world that you want to help, and you feel like you both can do that together as partners and really make a difference and be that sort of anchor for each other, where when one needs support, the other one is being more out there, and the other one can sort of like relax and take a break, and then you take turns, and then now you're the one that's going out and doing it, and now they're the ones that are it feels very, you can see the yin yang here, right? It's very well balanced, and it's very tight knit too. The Four of Stars, you two covet each other, you hold on tightly to each other. There's a strong protectiveness, and it feels equal. It feels on both sides of it. You both hold on very tightly to each other. It's like I keep seeing like two people kind of locking hands and like don't let go. And now I'm hearing like I'm like hearing that in my head, just like don't let go. But not in like there's not like a situation or anything that would call for that, but it's just how you hold each other, how you feel about each other. There's certain things that you will keep very, very private with each other. It feels very sacred. You two honor each other. You honor your relationship. You honor your connection. You honor what you're doing. There's such a strong sense of just sort of like being devoted, you both equally being devoted to something bigger than yourselves and wanting to create from that space. And the King of Cups feels, so you two are very emotionally intelligent, very emotionally evolved. It's funny that I'm talking about your soulmate, but you keep coming up as this equal. You both share these qualities, and it's like a mirror, right? It's just you both see yourselves in the other and the other in yourselves. It's very beautiful, and it's you're walking the same path, and so there's some type of connection there. I still see this sort of sense of you having known each other though before, but maybe it was in passing. It's like once you two really sit down to talk to each other, it's like a revelation. It's like, oh wow, I had no idea that we both felt the same way about this, and then it carries on from there. But I think you both, this Eight of Cups is giving me this feeling like you both have a strong desire to leave this world a better place, you know, to put more into this world than what was left behind, you know? And that's what I see you both doing. I do see you having a family, but the family could look very different for each of you. It could be actual human children, or it could be animal children. It could be taking care of others, you know, the world, the work that you do together, that can be like your baby, you know, that what you pour yourselves into. It could be a foundation, some type of charity. You do come together and you do something, you create something together that is long lasting, that will take on a life of its own. And it's meant, it's meant to help the world. You want to help the world. And you may travel together for that purpose. You know, the Eight of Cups, it feels like you both have this same feeling of just wanting to like help save the world. Very, very passionate. I feel very strongly about that. It's just this deep faith that the core of the both of you are the same. Feels the same. So that's all I'm seeing for your reading. I hope that it resonated. I know it might have been a little bit all over the place, but I hope that you got from it what you needed. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. So today we're going to do a soulmate reading on who's your soulmate. We're going to just see what comes through just about them. See how they come through as like just how they show up in the world. And then we'll go a little deeper from there. Okay. So we have the moon. Okay. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Lovers. Okay. We have the Chariots. And we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, make sure they're all. Okay, so right away, what I'm getting from your soulmate is that they are a lover. They love deeply, passionately. They show up fully in their relationships. They feel very deeply. But they are like, they're like love warriors. I'm not really sure what that means, but that's what I heard. They're love warriors. They love being in a relationship. Like, they love having that kind of partnership with the right person. They love that shared experience. They love quality time together. They feel very fulfilled, you know, when they spend time with you. It's funny, with the two other groups, I just got information more just about who they are as a person. But for you, right away, what's coming up for this group is how they are with you, and how much they love being with you, and how much they get out of that. Like, it makes them feel alive, you know. It makes them feel like life is worth living because they're with you. And you inspire them, you know, you motivate them, you bring out the best in them, and they love showing that to you. Like, you know, giving you credit, you know, for how whatever it is they do, because with your support and your love, they feel like they can do anything. I think before they met you, things would have been very unsure and very dark at times. The Moon card, you know, that card can mean illusions, and it can mean distortions and hopes and wishes, but feeling like, they may never happen. So that could have been how they viewed life, like they were never going to meet their person. They were never going to have that love, that relationship. They probably would have seen a lot of people around them in a lot of relationships and thought they want that. That's what they want for their lives. And then it just never happens. It just always falls through. And then they meet you, and then they're like, there they are, there's my person. And they're just so happy to have you in their lives that they would do anything for you. They're so devoted for you and devoted to you and your lives together. And they want to give you like everything, but it's also that they want to feed into your relationship, to your connection. I'm looking at the Ace of Wands here, and I'm looking at this castle in the distance, and it's like that's what they want to build with you and for you. They want you to move towards that in life, just building and building to the point where you have this castle and it's luxurious and you have everything you need and everything you want and you can do anything. But because that's how much they love you, that they want to give you that. They want to give you a castle, And it's just such a beautiful thing for them because there's such an appreciation for the love that you two have together. It's like they had everything, right? And what was missing was like their person. It's like none of it really meant anything because they didn't have their person to share it with. They want to have you involved in their lives, and they want to be involved in your life and be like your cheerleader. They feel very passionate about being with you and loving you. They feel very sensual as well. Like they want to please you and they want to make you feel good and happy and sexy. And, they want to build you up. They want to show you how amazing you are. It's a very sexy kind of vibe. They definitely care about pleasing you in the bedroom. They want you to be happy in every way, and they want to show up for you in every way. They're just so happy to be with you. It's such a happy feeling. It's really beautiful. It's like you're their wish come true, You're their dream, and they're just so happy to be with you. That's what it feels like. And it's so funny because that's all I'm kind of getting about who they are. It doesn't feel like someone that you know or that you've met before. This feels very new, like you were kind of waiting for them too, but it feels more like on their end that they really wanted to be with their person. They may have prayed for you or really tried to manifest you into their lives. They definitely dreamed of you quite a bit because it feels like they were tapping into something real, like you were like this unicorn they were trying to get. It's so interesting. I thought I would get more about their characteristics, but it just feels like all I'm getting is just this like gloating feeling of being with you. So I do want to try to get a little bit more details about who they are and how they'll be with you in a more, I guess, specific way. Very loving, that's clear, right? But let's see if anything comes through about some of their character traits. They definitely like to dote on you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at my person. They look so good right now. It's very sweet. It's a very sweet energy. Okay, so we have the Empress. We have the Fool. Sorry, guys, I got a phone call. But yeah, we have the Fool. We have the Hierophant. We have the Magician. Wow. And we have the Ace of Stars, the Ace of Pentacles. This is like furthering what I was saying before. First of all, you have a lot of majors. A lot of majors. This does feel like a big event when you two meet each other, because it does feel new. It's gonna be life-changing for both of you. I mean, on their part, you know, they've been wanting you for a while. But I was saying, the Magician, they were trying to manifest you this whole time. They were like praying for you. You are definitely their wish come true. But it does feel like a major event when you two meet. Like there was a build up to this. But yeah, they feel very I was saying that they feel very adventurous. This is an energy I'm getting, I've been picking up a lot on lately. But they do feel very nurturing and love it. Like it's the same messages over and over. They're very nurturing and they're very giving. But they feel very secure within themselves. And right away, I definitely see them wanting to move forward pretty quickly with you, because they're so happy to be with you. But you feel very receptive to them. Yeah. They're very committed people. They're very loyal. But they feel very like they may struggle sometimes with giving too much of themselves away. And I don't know if that's something that they do with other people or maybe that's just with you, but it definitely feels like they lose themselves a little bit in you, because I'm seeing that a lot here, that they just really wanted to find their person. So there's going to be a long honeymoon period for the two of you, because there's just a lot of like loving each other and soaking each other up, you know, and just loving that. I don't know if it was your group that was just loving the small things. I'm not sure if that was this group or not, but there's a sense of loving the little things, you know. I'm not sure if it was, that might have been group 2. If so, then there may be messages in there for you. Actually, I think there was similar cards. I know the Hierophant came up in group 2. And I think group 1, I think, came up in every group. But they're very serious about you very quickly. And they do feel like they would want marriage. Like that's something that they would bring up. I feel like they would probably propose pretty quickly. I'm getting like after a few months, it would be, you know, it would advance pretty fast. Especially with the Fool card here, you know, there's jumping in. There's no looking back. There's just, it's you and it's you and it's you, you know. And then it's us. And we get to do this for the rest of our lives. It's just a feeling of so much joy and happiness just from finding each other and just enjoying spending time with each other. It does feel very exclusive. It feels like just the two of you. If you choose to grow a family together, that's an option. But I do see you both spending a lot of personal, intimate time with just the two of you. So you may have kids later on down the line, because I do see a lot of exclusivity between the two of you. Like you just want to shut out the whole world and just be the two of you. You may travel to a place or live in a place where just for a while there's literally like no other people. It's just the two of you in this world that you've created for yourselves, and that's it. You guys is just to love each other and spend that time together, because you give each other everything. And I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. It's just, I live in the city, there's always going to be background noise. But yeah, it's and that's kind of making me feel like you're reading too. It feels very celebratory because it's music playing. I'm not really sure what it is, but it feels very celebratory. Like it's you're just so happy to be with each other and get to know each other, and hear each other's life stories. It's like you can hear each other speak for hours and hours and hours and never get tired. And it's just it's a really beautiful energy. It's making me feel very loved. So it's like I'm feeling how loved you'll feel with each other. And it's just a really beautiful accepting thing. It's one of those things where like they don't care what you've been through, where you've been, who you've been with. It doesn't matter. There's such a strong, loving, accepting feeling to them where they just don't care about tedious things, you know. There's just like an understanding. You two blend well together. If you were to live together, you would get along really well. It wouldn't be a difficult transition. It would be a very almost natural, like you were always meant to live together, or you always lived together, because that's how in sync you are with each other. Yeah, I think you both, I'm seeing you both like at a concert or like listening to music together, so you definitely have similar taste in music, which is interesting. Wow, that was really loud. Sorry about that. It's not always this loud, but of course, when I'm recording, let's get all the noise. But that's what it kind of, it's funny because I'm hearing a lot of background noise, and that's what I was saying. Like, it's almost like you don't want any outside interference with your life. So it's like, yeah, there's something about shutting off the outer world so you can just kind of tune into each other, and it feels very dreamy. It's just very dreamy energy. Like, you may have fantasized about this type of connection. They definitely did, but I'm feeling you would have too. Very excited to start your new life together for sure. And you have two aces here. This is a very prosperous beginning, a very blessed beginning. This feels like a gift from God. It's very freeing too. It's almost like when you get together, you can just release your past completely. And that's the second time that kind of message is coming up for you guys about accepting your past. So you may feel very self-conscious about the things that you've been through, or where you come from, or the people you've been around, or maybe even who you used to be. You may have, you know, been someone that you didn't want to be, or did things you didn't want to do. But there's something about when you get with this person, or when you meet this person, that there's this, they help you to accept yourself fully as who you are. And that's what I get from them. Like, they see past all that. Like, they don't care about that. And you may have felt like you couldn't experience that with anyone. And they kind of come in and show you something completely different. They feel very enlightened, you know. And I'm hearing like the ambulance, and I'm looking at the chariots. It's funny, like they come to your aid, you know, like they want to help you. They definitely help you heal in some way. They may be healers. Maybe they're a doctor, or a paramedic, or a nurse, or they just work in the medical field. There's something about them that they feel like that's something they're good at fixing things, or making things better, or healing them. They feel like healers. They're very tapped into this like loving, nurturing type of energy. So they could be a parent. They could have kids, or pets that are like their kids. But they definitely feel, or younger siblings that they took care of when they were younger. It feels like they're experienced in giving love and healing energy, because they feel like it just feels like there's something that they knew how to do. They just didn't have a person to give it to, you know, to do that with. You know, they were waiting for so long for their person. And then that's what I keep getting, that they're just so overjoyed to have you in their lives. They just want to be soaked up in you. And And it's a really, really beautiful energy. And yeah, and that's all I'm seeing for your reading. And I hope that I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave you what you needed. I hope it resonated. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.